Secada dominated the pop music charts in the early 1990s, releasing hits like Just Another Day and Angel, and winning multiple Grammy Awards.
Yeah, well, now he's out with a memoir named A New Day, talking about his family's escape from Cuba and his long music career. I didn't know a lot about this. I started reading his book, and I was really impressed. I was a huge fan of Jon Secada back in the day. I got a chance to talk to him about his new book. Here it is. I watched you when you were in Rochester, New York in 1995. I sat in the front row. You performed at the Auditorium Theater. My mother and I were in the front row. John, you were amazing.
I remember those shows.
It was amazing. You were amazing. Anyway, I am so loving your book, Jon Secada, A New Day, a memoir. And I love memoir. I love your story. This is an incredible book. You write about so many things. I love that you speak so lovingly about your family. I didn't know your background, that you had come here from Cuba with your family, and that you originally lived in Spain before coming to the United States years later.
Yeah. I'm definitely a product of the American dream in the sense that when we left Cuba, I was raised an only child. And at the time it was difficult. Actually, you couldn't come to the States directly, even though that was our plan. It was to come to the U.S. But there were other countries that accepted and were haven for Cuban refugees, and Spain was one of them. So we went to Spain. I lived there for a little bit. Lived in Costa Rica as well after that. And didn't made it to the States. I was already like 12 years old, maybe. I was close already to 1973. And the book really starts with being, I guess, that connection of what it means to be an immigrant.
Yeah.
And working for your dreams, and a success story in that sense. You know, as you really start with nothing, and luckily, with all of God's blessings, you're able to work for it.
I think that's one of the messages people will get when they read this book, is how hard you worked. You know, you admit you were a loner as a kid. You know, you weren't the most popular boy in school. You talk about, you know, physically your change as a young man, how you worked at everything you got. It seemed like you had to work so hard for it. But music always seemed to come somewhat easy to you, didn't it?
It did. And once I got into music, there was no turning back. And I was a late bloomer in a lot of aspects of my life.
You described that too.
My career in particular. But it was once I discovered music, I was hooked, and the passion was just really strong within. And I decided to study music. I'm a bachelor's and master's in music, and again, it was something that I couldn't hold back. I enjoyed music to the level that I wanted to be a musician. Period. I didn't really. My expectations were not ones to. Initially, my ambitions weren't the kind that to want to be a recording artist,
right?
Or a celebrity of sorts. I just really wanted to do well and be the best musician that I could be.
But you did, and you did. You became a huge celebrity.
And my ambitions, thank God, worked out that way. But initially, I just wanted to be a really good professional. And that's what I really talk about in the book the most, especially now when I talk about what's going on in the industry, and I talk to young people, is to make sure that you really start out with the principles of working on your craft and enjoying what you do and the passion of what you do, more than just thinking of, well, how far you're going to get in terms of the fame, the fortune attached to it. Because
you say in the book, celebrity is like crack.
What's in here?
Yeah, it starts in your heart. You're that is evident that you have a lot of heart. But you are very honest in this book, and you say in one chapter, celebrity is like crack.
It is, because once you get that notoriety and you start getting, I guess, you start getting popular and you start getting noticed, you enjoy it, you love it, and you want to keep having it. And that's a part of, again, then staying grounded and just realizing where you come from and why you get into the business to begin with. And that's a life, you know, I guess really comes full circle at that point. It did for me.
So we're going to have more of my interview with Jon Secada coming up, and including what Jon Secada and I have in common.
Really?
Yes. I found common ground.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
you know that I love Jon
You both love
Secada.
Dr. Pepper or something? That kind of common
I'm going
ground?
to sing some Jon Secada for you now.
Ooh. Go.
Well, you know when the...
Yeah, what a tease.
I won't do it. I won't sing it.
Watch, I'm going to start talking.
Just another day.